Hi guys, this is John from Meat University, and this is Jerky 202, smoked versus dehydrated jerky. Now there are plenty of different opinions on the best way to cook or dry jerky. Some people prefer just using an oven, some people want to use just a dehydrator, and some just a smoker. Each way has its benefits, but we think some are better than others depending on the equipment that you have available to you. Now, if you have a smokehouse that's able to control the relative humidity, then starting and finishing in the smoker is going to give you the most consistent and the most tender piece of jerky. The problem is that most people just don't have that available to them. So we're also going to show you a way to use an oven and a dehydrator to make tender jerky. First things first, you have to slice it into usable pieces. I went ahead and trimmed and partially froze my meat before I sliced it. You want to cut it into 1/4 inch thick pieces that you slice against the grain, because this is going to give you a better bite and chew than it would if you cut along the grain. Now you're going to mix your seasoning with your cure and lay it out onto a plate. Then drag the pieces of jerky through the mixture, making sure you're coating both sides. After we've done that, you're going to put it in a bag with just enough water to cover the top of the meat. Then you're going to let it sit overnight to allow the seasoning and cure to fully penetrate and work in the meat. Now, vacuum packing it will help the meat pick up a little bit more of the seasoning and cure, and if you vac pack it and then massage the meat every few hours, it'll work even better. This is because it's going to relax the muscle fibers and allow the solution to penetrate further and faster. Now, if you have a vacuum tumbler, you can simply dissolve all of your seasoning, cure, and any other additives in the water, and then go ahead and add it all to the tumbler and tumble until it's picked up as much of the solution as it's gonna. I'm also adding 18% of the product's weight in brown sugar and 20% of its weight in water. Now I'm adding this sugar as it'll bind with the water in the meat and make that water unavailable for microbial growth. So I can have a perfectly safe piece of jerky that's still nice and tender. Now to verify this, you would need a water activity meter, and as most people aren't going to have one available to them, you're just going to have to treat it like it's jerky you're making at home and refrigerate it. Now, if you want to do this, you need to make sure your brown sugar was 100% dissolved in the water. If not, you're going to end up with some seriously sticky jerky. Also, a tumbler is almost essential here. I've tested vacuum packing this in the past, and with the added sugar, it just doesn't work as well. You can get a little bit further along if you massage the meat every few hours. It will help it pick up, but it still won't be as good as it would be with a tumbler. All right, so we're back, we're done. Smokehouse took about 3.5 hours and gave us a beautiful, nice and tender piece of jerky. I'll post the full schedule for the smokehouse on there, including relative humidity. This definitely came out at least as good as I was expecting it to. Now, doing it in the oven and then transferring it to a dehydrator gave us a pretty good tender piece of jerky, not to the same level. So after we took it out of the oven, and it only took about 12 minutes for it to get up to 160 degrees, as you can see, I cut this right around 1/4 inch. Obviously it's shrunk a little bit, but right around 1/4 inch. Just folded one over itself, put a probe in there, so I knew that it'd be 160 degrees, and then I took it out and put it into our Weston dehydrator. So after an hour, it looked like this. As you can see, it's got a really good amount of flop to it, not stiff at all. And its water activity level was somewhere in the 9s, so not shelf stable at all. So I left it in there for an hour, came back at 2 hours, and this is what it looked like. Still very floppy, starting to firm up a little bit, and again, somewhere in the 8s for water activity, so again, not shelf stable. After 3 hours, we start to see some really good firming of it. It starts to look more like classically what we expect from a jerky. And the water activity level is somewhere around the 8s, it was low 8s, high 7s, so we're getting there, we're getting closer. Then after 4 hours, this is where we saw the big jump. A lot of the moisture came right out of the meat. It definitely stiffened up, and it dropped the water activity levels to where we're comfortable just putting it in a vac bag and leaving it out. It's not going to grow anything. There's not enough water available in there, even though it is a pretty tender bite, because it's all bound up in that sugar, which is going to make it unavailable for microbial growth. Now, this that we did in our smoker, nothing's ever going to grow in this. I don't even know if we would need to put this in a vac bag. It was 0.52 something, incredibly low. So if you've got a commercial smokehouse or a smokehouse that you can control the relative humidity on, I definitely recommend that you just do the jerky in there from start to finish. Gives it a little bit of extra smoky flavor that's really nice, and I think it gives a better finished product. However, if you don't have that available to you, the oven and then a dehydrator is definitely an option. I do want to stress though, you should go in the oven first. It's going to make it safe to eat. Even if you totally dry out the jerky, that doesn't necessarily mean you killed off everything. I mean, you might make it 10 times and be fine 9 times, but that one time that gets you, you're going to regret it. Food poisoning is nothing to joke around about. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and visit waltonsinc.com and meatgistics.com to find everything but the meat. Thanks for watching. I'm John with Meatgistics University, and I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to Walton's YouTube channel to watch more amazing videos, or shop at waltonsinc.com to find everything but the meat. Check out our latest sales and giveaway video here, or watch another hand-picked video by clicking here.